Alright guys, Zane here from Thornfelt Angling, one of Thornfelt Angling's pro staff guys. Brian's asked me to just do a bit of a talk about what we found and what we did on Saturday. Paddy and I came 10th, and we only caught 3 fish, and in practice fishing was a lot easier. We found a lot of fish on Z2 twitching around the surface, but we didn't get anything of size. And at about 1:30 on Saturday afternoon, I said to Paddy, let's go for broke. So what we started doing is we started pitching. Now the dams come up a little bit, so there's very limited pitching areas. However, the pitching bite ended up paying off. Paddy got second heaviest fish with 1,994, and then I got another 2 smaller guys, but we finished up with 10th heaviest bag, only catching 3 fish. What I want to talk about is the products that I use to catch these fish. I'm a firm believer in Rage plastics. They are phenomenal plastics. My 2 favorite are most definitely the Rage Bug and the Rage Shell Cracker. The Shell Cracker is sort of a fish imitation sort of bait. It's got the appendages at the end so you can break it and it swims freely, as well as the Rage Bug, as I'm sure you guys have all seen it before and seen it in action. But these 2 are my favorite 2 pitching baits, mainly because of their profile. They go through the cover quite nicely, but you open up all the appendages on the Rage Bug and this thing has an unbelievable action. I always pitch with a flipping hook, which is just a straight shank hook it's got a lure keeper. This particular one is the Mustard. There's also the Strike King one, which I do use as well. It's just a slightly heavier gauge wire, and with the Shell Cracker, that heavier gauge wire the lure doesn't last very long. But I always use the Strike King tour grade tungsten weights. In my opinion, you don't get a better weight. All the other tungsten weights on the market that I've used seem to cut the braid, and in heavy cover they wear the braid down. If you look at this braid, this has been tied for, I don't know, 6 months, and there's no wear on this braid. And I will be the first to admit that I probably should have retied before the tournament, but I didn't, and it hasn't let me down. I tied with a snell knot for the main reason that when you're in that heavy cover, you don't have much time to react when you do get a bite. So on your hook set, when the sinker hits the hook, it pops the point of the hook straight up and into the roof of the fish's mouth. So you've got to, in my opinion, if you're fishing and you're pitching in the heavy cover, that is what you got to do. You've got to tie it up with a straight shank hook, a snell knot, and you're going to get more hook set. Using the Rage plastic, you're going to get more bites. Doesn't mean anything if you can't get the fish out of the cover. So I use the Pescavora extra heavy, 7'6" extra heavy, and I always have a high retrieve reel. My reel of choice is the Lew's heavy Super Duty speed spool. It's got an 8.3 to 1 retrieve. I do believe that there is a newer model of this out there, but with the weight of the reel, the lightness of the rod, the durability of the rod, I can fish this all day and I don't get tired of it. And I haven't had a fish win in a battle between me and it since I've had a bite, since I've been fishing this combo. So guys, do yourself a favor. The Pescavora range isn't only just the big telephone pole, if you want to call it that, for pulling fish out of heavy cover, but it's also, you've got your 7.3 medium heavy. I've got 4 or 5 of them. They're the most versatile rod in the range, I believe. There's this rod for heavy pitching, very heavy Carolina rigging. The 7.6 heavy is a good frogging rod, which I've used almost all weekend, as well as obviously this. Guys, do yourself a favor, get to Bass Warehouse and check out what they've got. They've got the right products. They've got the Strike King, they've got the Lew's, they've got the Pescavora. It's the right place to be. Thanks a lot, guys.